I'll be presenting to you the criteria for the most outstanding Sanggunian. As mentioned by Attorney Chusayco, this is embodied in Provincial Ordinance. And this will start, the assessment will start on the first quarter of 2024, covering the year 2023. Okay, so this criteria was the product of the minds of the Provincial Legislative Awards Committee, or the PLAC. No, if you have read the ordinance, the composition is there. Okay, so we have gone through brainstorming twice, I think, for this criteria, because the criteria is not really embodied in the ordinance. I mean, the specifics are not in the ordinance. So a corresponding technical notes will also be, I think it will be finalized soon and will be sent to you for your guidance and for your preparation also for next year's assessment. According to the group and according to the Vice Governor, this is mandatory to all Sangguniang bayans and Panlunsod. So all 43 will be assessed, and the search committee will be going to your respective Sanggunians next year for the first quarter. Okay, sige. Next slide, please. So these are the evaluation criteria. Next slide. This covers 7 areas. The presence of the legislative agenda. Second is the availability of legislative documents. Third is the effectiveness of performance of the Sanggunian. Next, the efficiency of performance of the Sanggunian. The legislative citations and awards, the CapDev for legislators and staff, and the innovations and best practices. I think you are quite familiar with the indicators of the SGLG, the Excel, the Local Legislative Awards, the LLA, which I think the LLA is a national assessment, but it has been stopped or not-post lang siya because of the pandemic. But again, this is also in preparation for the Local Legislative Award probably by next year. Okay, sige, next. What comprises the specifics for the legislative agenda? For letter A, on the presence of the legislative agenda. Number 1 is the legislative agenda is aligned with or complements the executive agenda. Based on our data of the 43 local government units, I think we have 33 LGUs with the executive and legislative agenda, with the ELA. No, we have yet to receive the ELA of about 10 local government units. Second is prior consultation with stakeholders in the formulation of the legislative agenda. Next is the legislative agenda must be formulated within 3 months upon assumption to office of the members of the Sanggunian. Kaya? May reaction? Wala reaction? Okay. In terms of availability of legislative documents, all ordinances and resolutions are indexed by subject, sponsor, and the date of approval. I think you are doing this, no?
Yes.
Especially for the barangay Sanggunian secretaries. No? The hard and electronic copies of the ordinance and resolutions can be retrieved or accessed within the prescribed period by the Anti-Red Tape Act of 2007 as amended. Okay. The minutes, Naka-open siya. Ayan. The minutes, journal, and other relevant records of proceedings, like the committee hearings, the public hearings, and sessions are available. Next, committee reports are duly signed by the majority of all members. And then, the mechanism for communicating local legislation is available and properly documented. What do we mean by this? We have the usual mechanism in communicating our resolutions, our ordinances, especially the ordinances, are through posting in 3 conspicuous places. Where else? In the newspaper of general circulation, especially those with sanctions or penalties. But nowadays, we have websites. No? I think most LGUs have websites now. So, do you upload your legislative documents sa websites? Aral siya. Okay. Effectiveness of performance of the Sanggunian. Number of regular sessions conducted with complete attendance of Sanggunian members. Complete attendance of Sanggunian members. As I said earlier, this is just a general overview of the criteria. As to specifics, it's in the technical notes. Meaning, when we say complete attendance of Sanggunian members, I know you have reactions on this because kambal nila, wala man complete ang attendance. But we have specific indicator on this sa technical notes. We have the corresponding percentage of sessions sa technical notes with complete attendance, and that's 10%, or with 80% ang muninga number of attendees to the session, and that's let's say 8%, something like that. Okay, it's not all or nothing. Okay, you still have your corresponding points. Okay? Ordinances and resolutions approving the local development plans and public investment programs formulated by the Local Development Council were transmitted to the SP for review within 3 days upon approval. But I think you're quite familiar with this provision of the Local Government Code. When we speak of ordinances, these are ordinances, the usual ordinances. But resolutions, very specific lang siya, for local development plans and public investment programs. These are the resolutions that should be forwarded to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan for review. Okay, not all resolutions should be sent to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan. Efficiency of the performance of the Sanggunian. On the process and procedures. Second is the quality of office setup and staff complement. Third is the quality of the resolutions and ordinances. Specifics of this, on the process and procedures, the IRP, or the internal rules of procedure, contain minimum requirements. Do you have IRPs, all of you? Okay. So these are the minimum requirements, no, based on the local government code. But I know that you are also expanding on the number of committees. No? Some of you do not really observe the minimum, no? More than the minimum actually, because you create other committees other than prescribed under the local government code. Next is presence of rules of procedure in the conduct of administrative investigation involving elected barangay officials. You have this? Okay. My office receives several complaints, no, against barangay officials from the residents or from the complainants in the barangays, and normally we ask our field officers to refer these matters to the Sangguniang Bayan or Sangguniang Panlungsod, because it is in the Sangguniang Bayan or Panlungsod which is the venue for administrative investigations against elected barangay officials. Okay, so not in our office. Okay, notices of special sessions are disseminated at least a day before the scheduled special session. Another, notices of committee hearings are received by concerned parties in accordance with the rules and procedure of the Sanggunian. Next, internal and external feedback mechanisms are institutionalized. I don't know how you do this, no? The feedback mechanisms. Like for example, may mga examples kami ng istoryahan. When our clients come to our office or in the Sanggunian, do you, especially for a request for some legislative documents, do you practice a specific form or template for the request for such legislative document? Okay, do you have that, or I don't know if you have mechanisms or something like that. But after giving the said documents to the client, do you have a feedback mechanism like the one in the bank sometimes? No? Are they satisfied with the services that you give? I don't know if you have that. No? If you'll notice in some banks, they do that. That's smiley or something. No? And then I used to, well, PNB used to have that. No, my jar. And then mapili ka sa smiley bila. Na either sad, angry, or what, smiling. And then they put it on the jar. Kung di nakabutang ng smiley. I don't know if you are practicing that. No? Next is, there is people's participation in the legislative process, especially in public hearings. No? That's why it's a public hearing, because you do that in public. Okay, quality of office setup and staff complement. The session hall has appropriate furniture, fixture, and equipment for the presiding officers, the members of the Sanggunian, the secretariat, and the viewing public. Okay, this is where the viewing public sits, I think. So this is the session hall. The presiding officer is here, I think. So I don't know if you have that set up also in your session halls. Yeah, si Vice sa Anita. What about the other LGUs? May araman. Ikaw pala pala. Okay. Next, the office of every member of the Sanggunian has appropriate fixture and equipment. Okay, so dito sa technical notes, may mga specific dito. Like for example, you have the cable or the cable. Yes. You have that one. The maze. I don't know if you have the maze. Rostrum. You have the rostrums. When a Sangguniang Bayan member speaks, it should be in front, or it should be in the rostrum, not in his table. Something like that. Okay. Next, each Sanggunian member has at least one legislative staff other than the Sanggunian secretary. Meron. Wala. Wala. Isang JO? JO na lang. Actually, we were not strict with this. No? It should not be a permanent employee. JO is enough. Job order. Okay. Wala. May ata ang dating ma'am. Ang sa iba, sa iba, napapaisip sila, ma-hire kita JO. For each as given. Okay, next. There is an office provided for the Sanggunian secretary who has at least 2 personnel. Okay, so I think this is not a problem, no? All Sanggunian secretaries have their own staff, permanent or JO. Si Mama ba niya wala? Eh, wala ka ba? You are a Sanggunian secretary and you don't have a staff. Why? Si ang imo vice mayor, Pili LGU, San Rafael.
Dati kila yun.
Sino pa wala staff? Hari pa din. Wala sa staff. So, well, I think si San Rafael naman siguro ang may problema nila. The rest have their own staff. Quality of the resolutions and ordinances. Number of enacted ordinances responsive to the contemporary needs of the people in the LGU. Okay? Number of passed resolutions responsive to the contemporary needs of people in the LGU. So, when we speak of contemporary needs of the LGU, we have ordinances and resolutions that definitely respond to the needs of the LGUs. What are these needs? Okay, social, economic, political, cultural, environmental, institutional, infrastructure needs of the LGUs. This does not include resolution of condolence. Okay, resolution of I don't know if resolution congratulating a certain person for winning the what? Sa games or sa Miss Universe or something like that. Percentage of enacted ordinances that were not remanded by the Sanggunian Pandalawigan upon review. Ano may ana? Ginbalik ni SC ang ordinance. So, actually, percentage na siya. Percentage. There is a corresponding computation on that. Legislative citations and awards. Local awards given to the Sanggunian or the Sanggunian member. So, Sanggunian as a whole and Sanggunian member also. Okay? It could be the Sanggunian as an august body and the member of the Sanggunian. Next is international recognitions accorded to the Sanggunian or the Sanggunian member. Ang bali-vice, grabe. Pero kaya, no? International recognitions. Okay. So, next, local awards given to the LGU by reason of Sanggunian ordinance or resolution. Okay. Then, international recognitions given to the LGU by reason of Sanggunian ordinance or resolution. Okay? Kaya siguro ang local, pero ang international daw hindi. Actually, the DILG gives local awards, no, sa atin, especially NLA, Excel. I don't know about other agencies. PCL is providing recognitions also. I don't know about vice mayors. SGLG also. Yeah, of course. It's a national award. Not because Anilaw is an SGLG pass. Okay, CapDev for legislators and staff. So these are trainings. Okay, the municipality or city initiated capacity building activities for the Sanggunian members and staff. You do this, no? You do this. Yeah, I know because some of you submits your activity design, especially when the activity is in Boracay. You submit it to my office. Diba, guys? But when it's in Iloilo, there is no problem. But when it's in Boracay, of course, it's the regional office that approves the activity design. But if it's within Iloilo, it's only me that approves the activity design. Okay? The Sanggunian members and staff participated in capacity building activities conducted by other government agencies or non-government organizations. I don't know if there are, for example, si PCL conducts local legislation, seminars, trainings. We also, the DILG also conducts, especially for NEO and the elected officials. Innovations and best practices. Okay, these are the 4 criteria, indicators, effectiveness of the innovations, high impact or the impact of these innovations and best practices, the sustainability, replicability, and innovativeness of these innovations, and the promotion of people's participation and empowerment. So it's in the technical notes as to specifics of these indicators. I guess that's it for me. Thank you, and I will hand this